Hey, you're trying to get on now, you say?
Okay, I want to welcome everybody. It is
Okay,
November
sounds
the
good.
16th, 2023. And I don't see any newbies here tonight. It's all us experienced people. There's Robert. He's on.
Yeah, he said he was trying to get on.
So I got a lot of announcements to go through tonight because this will be technically it's our last meeting, but it's not. So get to that in a minute. Number one thing, guys, it's dues renewal, membership renewal time. So if you haven't already done that, please go to the website and go to the section for membership and click on the link and go ahead and send in your renewal as soon as you can. Appreciate it. I will remind you if you don't. And then the next thing that's coming up is reason why we're going to have another meeting this month, which we normally only have one in November, but we end up with 5 Thursdays. So on the 30th, which is 2 weeks from today, we're going to have another meeting, and we're going to have our election. Our officers are elected every 2 years. And wanted to ask if anybody would like to nominate themselves or for any office, including we have 5 officers and 5 directors of board of directors. So if you're interested in participating in the board, let me know and I'll put you on. We'll put you on the ballot. In addition to the election on the 30th, we're going to have a bonus education night. And Robert has kindly said he would spend some time talking about printing, which is something, it's not the easiest thing to do. We did this several years ago and we actually were able, we're still in the studio. Back then it was probably in 2019. And we all did got a print. But yeah, so we're going to talk about that. And I'm sure if we have time, we'll have time and he will answer any questions about anything else that you might have questions on too. If you want to think of something you want to ask him beyond printing, have at it. But if you really want to know about printing, ask printing questions. Any questions about that? Okay. The 2024 assignments, monthly assignments, are now on the website. So if you go over onto the second page of the website and it says monthly assignments, there's a link there, takes you right to the page and all the assignments are listed there. And Jim put a lot of really good description in there. So read them, please. It will help. But, even if you want, in each month, or I would recommend reading through the whole list because you can start shooting for September now, if it's something that you're going to be seeing or, in being able to photograph, have all this stuff. I do that. I look and see what's on the list and I'm looking ahead or looking ahead at the assignments. And when I'm out shooting, I'm looking for stuff that's appropriate for those assignments now. So keep that in mind.
Hey, Lynn, I have a question concerning the website.
Yeah.
I was on it the other day and I could not find a list of the officers.
It's not on there.
That's interesting.
That's why you couldn't find them. The officers
I thought it used to be at the very bottom. They used to be at the very bottom for years.
It's been gone for a long time. Yeah, the officers are the current officers right now. I'm the president. Jim is the vice president. Lee is membership. Jack is treasurer. Robert is education. And then we have 5 directors, which are Brian, Sylvia. Oh, and Victoria secretary. I'm sorry. There's 6 officers and 4 directors. So Victoria is the treasurer or secretary. And then Brian, Sylvia, Lee Wynn, and Leslie are directors.
Well, I guess the question is, why isn't it on the website?
I don't know. We just never put it on there. I guess I don't know.
Okay. To be on there somehow fell off.
Yeah, somehow it fell because I don't ever recall ever seeing them on there. But
oh yeah, it was on there before.
It's probably been a while though. But yeah,
it was on there. It
was on there. Maybe we don't want our names out in public. I don't know.
It was on there from that last election. It was on there before.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you're interested in running, please let me know before the 30th.
Lynn.
Yeah.
I have a question. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
My browser said the Zoom was outdated and it wouldn't allow me to repopulate it or to
Well, you need to
update
go up.
it.
You need
So
to go
I
back
can't-
up. You need to go back up to the top. Well, don't do it now because you're on here. But after the meeting,
Right.
open up your Zoom and you need to go up into it and ask for updates because they
I
update
did.
this thing
I
probably
did.
every week. Yeah.
I did, and it said it couldn't install it. It gave me
well-
some error message. Anyway, the point
Yeah.
is, when I'm looking at the screen, I signed in by the web, but it's a weird sign up. Like when somebody speaks, their name pops up with no picture. I don't know.
It's probably it's because you probably got the wrong. You have to go up into the corner and change the view. View.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. In January, we have set up an education night it's called Creative Lens Flare. That is the assignment, I think, in February or March. So we're going to go ahead and have Jim is going to be doing an education night on Creative Lens Flare in January. So we have that set up. I'm working on the speakers for next year. We have 3 or 4. As you read through the assignment, you'll see that we've noted the ones that we've got education stuff set up ahead of time. So, but I'll fill in with speakers as time goes by. It's a little early for some of them to be answering me, so trying. And by the way, I already asked Alan Shapiro to come back next year, and he's agreed to it. We just got to find a date for him. So the guy we had last month.
Good.
Okay, I want you to put on your calendar for February the 3rd, which is a Saturday. We are planning an outing for Bach Tower Gardens, which is over in Lake Wales. We'll put more information on the website a little bit later. The other date you need to have in your calendar is March the 1st through the 3rd, which is photo camp for 2024. We're back at Rainbow Springs State Park again. It's hard to find any other places that have enough spots for us. It's tents only again, and we will again put out more information and all the signups and everything for that later. Just wanted you to have it on the calendar. March the 1st through the 3rd.
Hey, Lynn, plus we were going somewhere different to shoot on the day of
Maybe,
shooting.
yeah, that's stuff up the ground yet. We haven't made that plan yet for sure yet. So we're working on someplace else to shoot besides the Rainbow Springs Park. Anyway, not last but not least, but don't forget that on December the 3rd, we're doing a lot of stuff on the 3rds for the next few months. Is December the 3rd is our annual awards and holiday party. It will be at Felipe Park again, 1 o'clock, this is a Sunday, be 1 p.m. except for the board. They have to be here earlier. The details are on the website. I sent you all a link to that via email a few days ago. The big thing there is 2 things. Please, if you haven't already done so, sign up for food or drink. But there's a link above the form. Check that. That's the spreadsheet where the form fills in, and check and see what else everybody else has brought so far, or has signed up for already, so that you don't bring something that we already have, or give us an idea of what you're bringing, so we everybody doesn't bring dessert. So we love dessert, but we don't like it just dessert. Okay. The other thing is we're going to have the silent auction again, which helps to defer the cost of the party and goes towards our education. So if you have anything, and it has to be photography related, if you have anything photography related that you would like to put in the silent auction or donate for the silent auction, please bring it with you on the 3rd. And also, bring some money so you can buy some other you bring some stuff to get rid of, you can buy some other stuff to take home with you. So we can't just have donations. We got to have somebody buy the stuff too. So
it's not like cleaning out the closets. You're gonna bring stuff back.
No cleaning out the closet. Well, I mean, some of it could be, it depends on what's in the closet. Sometimes there's good stuff at the closet, you forgot about it. The last thing I wanted to talk about real quick is, we mentioned this last month, is I want to thank the 11, but we got 11 volunteers, including Jack, for the CWE fundraiser tomorrow. And I want to thank the folks that volunteered, and I'll let Jack talk about that for 1 second in a minute, but I wanted it to, because this is something we're trying to do, give back to the community more often. In terms of photography, you don't want to go out and do, I don't know, gardening or something like that. We're photographers. We want to do something photography related. We have a possibility of another one coming up in April. We just got to get details on it. But if anybody knows of a way that we can give back to the community, primarily in I don't want to say charity way, but a nonprofit kind of situation, let us know, because as a 501c, that is part of what we're supposed to be doing anyway. So if anybody has any ideas about that, the board has come up with a few, but if anybody else has some, creative ideas, or if they're involved with something, let us know about it and we'll look into it, or we'll ask you to look into it, because I'm getting good at delegating. Which means, Jack, if you have anything to say about tomorrow.
Well, yes, I want to thank all the ones that volunteered. Also, CWE Missions is a non-denominational Christian organization that Lori and I have been associated with for the last 30 years. Its home office is here in Tampa. This organization builds schoolhouses, churches, other buildings throughout the world. It also has medical missions, of which I just got back from Bolivia on one of those medical missions. Annually, we have a large fundraiser in Lake Jovita Golf and Country Club that raises anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000, which is our budget for each year to do these projects. We have over 200 people that volunteer to help with the golf event, which will be tomorrow. It lasts all day long at Lake Jovita. This is the first year we're going to have photographers from our club. I hope it's a success. The photographers will be photographing all the teams of players, as well as the hole sponsor signs that are located at all of the tees. This course, or this golf course, has actually 2 golf courses, not just one. So we've got 36 holes to cover, and the 11 volunteers will have plenty to do to keep themselves busy tomorrow. Thank you again for volunteering. I hope to see it. I hope to hear that it's a tremendous success. It should be a blessing to all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're going to be taking pictures of everybody taking pictures, right?
Yes, we'll get pictures of everything,
Okay.
including the birds out on the field and everything. Yes, the more pictures, the better. And then we'll send them all out to the golfers.
But we need to have something for the club as well, so that we can put that on our website.
Yes.
Okay. Because you guys are going to be running around from hole to hole, so you can do that.
We'll do that.
Does anybody have any comments or questions about anything? Robert?
Yeah, I saw that we've had some donations provided to the club for our educational fund, and I want to thank each and every one of those who did donate and provide some extra funds for us to continue our education program. So from me and the rest of the board, we thank you, and thank you again.
Yes. And there is a button on the website if you would like to, be one of those people that donates. And I'm not talking to you, Diana.
She did have her hand up.
She's muted. Diana, you've done enough.
No worries. My pleasure. Always my pleasure. Jack, real quick question. When you say that, do we turn our cards over and we leave our SD cards with the people, or do we get those
No,
back?
no, no. We're gonna download them and give them back to you.
Okay, because I was gonna bring a 64 as opposed to a 256, but I didn't want to donate a 256.
Yeah, no, we'll download them. Yeah, give yourself enough time before you have to leave because we'll download them and then they can give them back to you.
And thank you for putting me at 12:30 versus 8:30.
I would just like to point out that the background behind me, while it is a close-up, is not macro, just for the sake of discussion.
Yeah, read the macro discussion, the macro thing on the assignment. We're giving you guys another chance at macro.
Oh, that's January, so.
We didn't talk slow enough. Jim hasn't made it home yet. God.
Yeah.
Traffic was horrible out there. I just came up from South Tampa. It was ridiculous.
Too much water?
No, not really. Just people that can't drive.
I thought the water was missing you guys.
It is.
They brought up to us today.
We got lots of rain
Oh.
today, which is perfect. We needed it desperately. Well,
Yeah,
I guess we
Miami
can go
got
ahead
it.
and get started. I'm going to go ahead and Robert, let me make you. No, I have to click on the right thing here, Lynn. Robert, where are you?
Underwater somewhere.
No. Okay. Just in case you need it, Robert, I made you a co-host.
Okay.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Oh, just so here's where you can look at the competition assignments right here. Scroll down here and they're all listed right here. See, there's long descriptions. Take some time and read them. Jim took a lot of time to fill the, do that so you would not make any mistakes about what they're looking for. All right. All right. Can you see my Lightroom now?
Yep.
Yes.
That's Slovenia.
Oh, I know that's I know where that is. That's beautiful.
Oops, too far.
Your picture came out better than mine.
All right. Are we ready for this? Let me get the scores
Always.
out. Let me get the scores out. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn off this light. I don't need that anymore. So I can see better. Okay. All right. All right. The first one is called Nightfalls. This is Karen's image and the score is 24.9.
Very nice.
It's beautiful. And don't have Jim Hagan, don't hesitate to say anything because he was the third judge this month.
Okay, I'll start up. Is it just me or is everybody else's sound breaking up?
Nope. We're hearing you fine.
Yeah, I've heard some people break up, but not everyone.
All right, I'll start with this photo. I guess I thought I was amazed by this one. It was like I don't know where this is, but it's like wow. I judged on the wow factor. I let Robert and Jim do the technical stuff, but all I did was say, first time I saw this, I go, wow. I was seriously impressed with this photo, and possibly the foreground was a little bit. I don't know what to make of that foreground, to be honest, but the falls themselves were amazing.
Thank you.
Karen, is this Niagara? Is this
Yes.
Niagara? Yeah.
Yes.
What was the topic? I didn't participate this month.
Yep, you did.
Waterfalls.
Waterfall.
No, no,
was the
no,
subject.
what were we supposed to do? What was the assignment?
Waterfalls.
Waterfalls.
Oh, hello, sorry. Karen, that's gorgeous. Thank you. I'm gonna
Robert,
shut up.
In this image, I'm looking at the aperture 5.6 on this, and I think this could have used more of a 14, 16 range for clarity of depth. I have a lot of interesting things going on in the background there, but they are without clarity, and they are adding to the shot. But because of the fuzziness of them or the lack of depth, it falls slightly short for me.
Okay.
other than that, it's gorgeous.
Thanks.
All right, next one is Two Falls and a Rainbow. This one is also Karen's. The score is 23.3.
On this particular photo, the waterfall itself, I'm not sure what to make of that. It looked like it was like a little blurry, I guess. But yeah, in that area right there, I didn't know what that was out of. But
That's just, it looks like liquid glass to me. It just is it's a strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Texture.
very strange. Yeah.
Hi, Lynn.
Hey, Jim.
I made it.
You made it.
Oh
We
my
knew you
gosh.
would.
So I see where we're at. I don't know what's been said about it, but I think the really high shutter speed made that waterfall in the front look out of place with the waterfall in the back, if we're making comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like there's no detail in the in a bunch of it as well. It looks unusual if you zoom in on the water there.
Oops. It's a zoom.
Other
in
zoom.
Get. Let me see if I can get bigger. Doot, doot. I can go into 200.
Yeah, see the total lack of detail in the water there. It
Yeah.
looks unusual.
Well, that's what I said. It looks almost like liquid glass, and glass has no detail. So
Yeah, is that a seagull in the rainbow?
it looks like it. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
Caught the little seagull. Any
So
questions,
what are
Karen?
you on image number 2?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
just on number 2.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't miss too much.
Let me go ahead and put you in as a share person real quick here while we're. Oops, wrong one.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for just butting in.
Yeah, we knew you were coming.
You can make him the co-host and make me the share.
No, yeah, hold on a second. I can't. Where is Kim here? Where is the darn thing? Oh, it's at the top.
It's in the darn lost.
It's at the top. I see. I can have multiple co-hosts. All right, now you both are co-hosts. All right, if you need.
Thank you.
All right, next one is Peaceful. This one is Lee Wins. The score is 23.8.
on this particular photo, I thought it was a very pretty photo. But my only issue with this was that the waterfall itself didn't seem to be like the main focus, for the assignment. You can see it in the background, but the subject seemed to be the water going over the rocks.
Are you able to?
But it going over the rocks, isn't that considered a waterfall too?
I considered the waterfall in the background.
But
this
I mean,
looked like
But it's part of the waterfall. Yeah.
to me, it doesn't have to be the main one, because those are, I mean, that's still cascading water over.
Oh, agreed. But the subject was waterfalls, so I saw the waterfall. It's just a matter of I didn't think it was the main subject.
Hey, Lynn, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Just for curiosity's sake, pull down a crop from the top, about 2/3 of the way from the top to the waterfall. A little more right there. Helps a little bit, but
Yeah. I mean, it is really more about this part here than it is that. But I would, when I think of a waterfall, I don't think of just the waterfall. I think of everything that's involved with it as well. So
See, me too. And to me,
Yeah.
that the part that's in the front is waterfalling.
yeah, it's coming down, or it would be sitting still.
I mean,
Anything else?
what Jim, what do you and Robert say? Because I mean, the thought that he said would never have entered my mind. So I'm just trying to get a little clarification.
it did enter my mind. I didn't knock it, very much because of that. It is a beautiful image, and there is in the front right here. This looks like it could be the top of a waterfall where it's going over. It's kind of ambiguous, there. There was definitely a waterfall in it with a very long lead up to that waterfall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is relatively flat here, but again, it looks like it's, if you look at here, this is going down.
This is all down. This is all downhill, and so it's
this is all going down here, right here.
It does, it does look like it's the top of a,
Another
the top
waterfall,
of a.
To me, it was more rapids than waterfall.
To me, it was a lot more interesting. To me, a lot more interesting image than a lot of waterfall images because of that.
Mm-hmm. And this is why we like having a third judge to hear a different voice and different opinions, and we don't want you to be shy about what you have to say.
Yeah.
You also have an S curve and some triangles in there too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, compositionally, you're right, Chris. Compositionally, it's got a lot of great things going on as far as the composition goes.
Yeah.
All right, next one is DeSoto Lower Falls. This one is Lourdes's, and the score is 23.4.
That's cool.
Just shave off the little bright spot at the top. Thank you.
It's a tiny little thing. I think I would probably take some of these little branches that are sticking in as well out right here on the edges, the bright ones and the little sticks sticking in. That's really not too many of them, but other than that, it's pretty image.
Yeah, but back in the days when I used to shoot a lot of film, especially slide film and stuff, things like that at scenes like this drove me nuts, because you just didn't really have too much capability in Photoshop when you were dealing with that stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's easy fixes now.
Yeah, even more so than 6 months ago. The stuff you can do with generative with the remove tool is freaking crazy.
Do you know the first time I came upon a particular waterfall in New Mexico back in 1997? Do you know that I actually spent an hour climbing around the waterfall, pulling sticks out of it to take a photograph?
That's what you had to do. That was the old Photoshop.
That was it.
You were the old remove tool.
I agree with the comments on this one with regard to those little sticks and stuff, but I did struggle when I was processing the photos from my recent trip. You're so capable now that it almost seems like you can change reality so much that I tried to not alter what I saw too much. Clean up the little stuff, but I mean, I don't want to. If there's an ugly tree, well, there's an ugly tree, but that's the scene I shot versus replacing it with a bunch of bushes.
Yep, you're approaching it from from a documentary point of view, which there is nothing wrong with, and there's also nothing wrong, from what we're saying is also an artistic point of view where you are creating a piece of visual art that does not necessarily have to be based on documenting reality.
Yeah, and it's also almost impossible not to have, no matter how you frame this, to get rid of have these not there. Yeah.
In the world of art,
yeah.
This is one of the few mediums in the world of art that even approaches documenting reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this image crooked?
Crooked?
Yes,
Crooked, yes.
No, I wouldn't say so, because the water is going straight down right here.
It doesn't appear to be.
It's slightly off.
It is slightly off
to the right.
Yeah, it's skewed slightly. There you go.
It's very slightly.
Mhm.
All right, on to the next
Gravity doesn't lie.
Next one is crossing the waterfall. This is Lourdes as well. The score is 23.9.
I like the story that's being told here, and because of the story that's being told, I feel that there's too much top and bottom above the story.
So where do you want to cut it?
There.
And you want some
And
off the
bring
bottom?
it up. Yeah, bring it up to, there you go. Yeah, you can back down a little bit. You don't have to get into the white water. There you go. Now it's more about the story with less that doesn't matter to the story top and bottom.
Yeah.
Now you still see enough of the environment to know the environment, but there was too much environment competing with the story. Again, there's a stick or something in there that could very easily be removed. That's it almost looks like it's from a distance it looks like it could be impaled through her leg. She's not crossing the waterfall, she's pinned in place.
Yeah, in this particular photo, I really like this one as well, and I completely agreed with Jim. I was going to mention that I thought the tree at the top was, it was too much at the top. I really like the girl there because of the perspective it gave to this thing. It could have been a foot tall. Now I know basically how big it is. So I like this shot. I thought it was very cool. Kind of told the story.
Yeah. Lourdes, do you have anything to say? Nothing? All right.
Sorry, my microphone was like not cooperating with me. Yeah, no, I agree with all the comments. I definitely need to learn how to use Photoshop. Unfortunately, for now, that's what it is.
You'll get there. You'll get there. We are all where you are.
Eventually, you guys won't make me go down. So I'll keep on.
Yeah. All right. Next one is Waterfall and Autumn Palette. This one is, whoops, my score sheet went black. Okay. This one is Jack's and the score is 24.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the title.
I'm in agreement with you, Brian.
Yeah, it's not very autumny.
That the title mentions an autumn palette that doesn't really appear to be there.
Jack?
Well, I saw some, I guess it was more apparent to me than to others, but I'm using my pointer. Yeah, right there. I'm sorry, it looked perfectly clear to me.
There's definitely a way. There's not a lot of color here to start off with. I mean, you could go in here and actually bring up some of these spots that are orangey.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
I played with the saturation, and it started looking artificial.
yeah. I mean,
I
that's
left
the
it.
problem with these with leaves that are kind of dead. It's
Yeah.
they're beyond their color.
Yeah. So you have dead leaves down there, and you have live leaves up front, up top. It's autumn time, but I'm sorry. Maybe I should have thought of a different title, but
Yeah.
It
Well, I
could
think
be,
it probably
it
it
could
was
be
more
autumn,
noticeable.
just not the palette.
Yeah.
I'm curious about your choice of shutter speeds, Jack. This seems to be halfway in between freezing the motion and having smooth, flowy motion. It's kind of a halfway in between. Was that a deliberate artistic choice on your part?
yes, I had several versions of this shot at different speeds, and this is the one that I thought gave me some lines in the water, some streaming lines in the water, which I wanted, and then some smooth lines as well. I chose this out of a series of about 5 different shutter speeds.
Okay, yeah, that was my question. Had you done had you done multiple variations, and then this this was your artistic choice? So that was my question. You answered my question. I was glad to hear that. Yes, you didn't just take a shot and that was the shutter speed that it was. That you did variations and picked something.
Yes.
When you just did that white balance, that made it more autumny.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little too yellow. That's a little more autumny there, but it's a little too yellow for me, at least. That's a little.
Yeah, that turned the water brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, now you could at least see the brown colors.
Yeah.
And you could pull back on the yellow like you did.
Yeah, there's lots of leeway in this for processing and doing some different things.
Yeah. All right, next one is Autumn Waterfall. And it's in black and white. And this one is also Jack's. The score for this one is 24.4. This is Dry Falls. Yeah. That's the weirdest name. This
yeah.
Falls have more
but that's a
any other falls, and it's called Dry Falls.
I did enjoy looking at this one a lot as a black and white. I was glad to see this black and white. It's very striking. This one resonated with me. I enjoyed this in the black and white treatment.
It's almost creepy.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I had it in color, and it just didn't do a thing for me until I tried the black and white. It got rid of a lot of the, I don't know, the clutter in the background, and then it
I agree. This narrowed it down and focused it on on the shape and the flow of what's going on with the waterfall, as you say, eliminated the distractions. That's a good way of putting it, Jack.
Guys, and nobody, I don't know if you noticed that there's a fence that goes right along here. There's actually a walkway right along here, and you can walk underneath this falls. It's really cool.
It's fun to take photos from behind the water.
Yeah.
Where is that?
This is in Georgia.
Isn't it? Is that DuPont?
This is Dry Falls.
Okay, I've been there, but I didn't remember where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple photos of this falls presented tonight.
Yeah. Robert, any question? Any comments?
No. If you go back one to your image prior to this, the composition on this one is a bit off. And I point that out because you put in my face this rock on the left-hand side, a massive rock. And beside that massive rock is a waterfall that's flowing. Your numbers that you chose, and you mentioned that you found that particular flow value was sufficient for you. But what I find is that the rock itself protruding out more is giving me way more attention than the flow of the water at the shutter speed of 1/30 instead of 1/4, somewhere in that area. which would give me more attention toward the right. But I'm matching the two textures of the water and the texture of the rock, and I find that they are too equal for me.
Do us a favor, Lynn.
Yeah.
Crop off the left third of the image.
Are you sure that's not North Carolina dry
Keep
falls?
going. This is in Georgia. It's called Secret Falls.
Yeah.
Oh, Secret. No, the other one that
The
you
other
said
one
was
is Dry Falls,
Oh, the other one is Dry Falls. It's in Georgia.
Georgia.
And there's a couple
okay.
photos of Dry Falls posted in here tonight.
All right. Now, this becomes a much stronger composition based on the waterfall and not the rock. Now go forward to the next image. When you get to this particular image, the waterfall takes center stage, but underneath the center stage are a bunch of different textures that give you other interest from the main waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
The texture of the pathway that leads through it, the texture of the leaves that are on the right-hand side, the texture of the rocks. The waterfall is simply has the spotlight, but there's just enough light throughout the entire photograph to highlight other avenues of interest in this photograph. This, my friend, becomes very outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that works is the contrast of textures. There's the, all the dark areas are pretty much what we would call a high frequency texture. And then the waterfall would be considered what we call a low frequency texture. And the textures themselves are so opposite from each other that they're very complementary.
1000%, Jim. That's right on the money.
Okay, next one is water.
Great.
Go ahead.
Thanks for the comments. Thank you.
Next one is water through the leaves. This one is Chris Marigues, and the score is 23.9.
On this particular photo, when I looked at this thing, I thought, I think it was a cool thing. It was like framed well, and I couldn't tell if this is man-made or not, to be honest. It looked like the water was coming out of the rocks or something, but yeah, I think this is a pretty cool photo.
I'll tell you what I enjoyed about this. Not only is it a nice composition with it, it's kind of a pyramid triangular shape with the base of the waterfall wider and it narrows to the top, fitting within that frame, but also the prismatic colors that appear in the leaves and everything are mimicked in the water as well. And it gives the whole thing a prismatic jewel-like, appearance, like sunlight through a prism or something. And I thought that worked well in this image.
Robert?
I so wanted you to cut that green leaf off.
This one?
No, the one up top.
Oh, the one at the top. I was just like, there's this. Yeah, I was like, this needs to be darkened. This needs to be darkened. You can get rid of these little light things over here. And this definitely needs to be darkened here at the bottom. Mm-hmm. So other than that, it's like it's been framed. And this stick, get rid of the stick.
Yeah, there's a curly stick at the top across the green leaf too. You'd want to take out. Yeah, that one.
Would you not reduce the highlights on the right part?
That could be burned down as well. Absolutely, Diana, I agree with you on that.
Bright, and that's really
a vignette
away.
Might work.
It takes away my eye from the waterfall.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Where is Chris?
I don't know if he's here tonight. Just
just
a little bit like that.
I would even take down the highlights too, Lynn, not just the exposure.
Lynn, you might try some dehazing on that.
Why aren't you
looks
all
like
here?
it was taken on at photo camp last year.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that looks an awful lot like Sunken Gardens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You mean Rainbow
There,
Springs?
there were also some man-made waterfalls like this at Rainbow Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
I have one almost
Chris
exactly
was there at that event, so that
If Chris sees this recording, Chris, I want you to be here at this event. Please. I really would like to engage with you.
The little, just a few little differences there. I'm like from there to there, nothing huge.
No,
No.
I would still be taking down that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that needs to be done, but
Yeah.
that's just a quickie. All right, next one is Magnificent.
Oh, it is.
This one is Lee wins, and the score is 25.1. I believe this is looks like Victoria. No, it might be Iceland. I don't know.
Beautiful.
Anybody know which this one is?
Yeah, again, on this particular photo, it was the wow factor. You know, you look at this thing and you go, wow, you know, it's like that was one of the major, you know, factors in my score. But you know, and then you look a little closer, it looked a little bit grainy, I thought, on the water. But yeah, this is I don't know where this is, but wow.
it's the softness of the of it that plays through the entire image is fascinating. It's a little bit unusual. That's part of what makes this this image stand out. Is it has this overall softness to it that actually works well.
And with that softness, you don't lose the detail, because sometimes when it's really soft, you lose the detail on the waterfalls itself, but you can actually see the line stripes on it, which is what I like. I don't like when it's all cottony.
I could do without the single tulip bulb or whatever it
Yes,
is in the middle.
yes. The one sticking out right in the middle of the water.
You're talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Victoria Falls. I don't remember the mountains.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be Iceland.
It's
Or
stunning.
possibly.
That sky is beautiful. The sunset peering over the right.
If I remember the data correctly, this was an 8 second long exposure.
Yep.
I believe this is on the western side of Mars.
Mars. I don't think Mars has quite this much water anymore.
We don't know. We haven't been there on the western side of it.
Lee Wen has access to a Wayback Machine.
Yeah,
that's
way back. Okay, next one is Splashdown. This one is Chris's again. Wait a minute. Yeah, this one's Chris's. Score is 24.9.
I do want to say that there's a focus issue here. Yeah, there's a lack of sharpness throughout the rocks themselves.
Yeah, almost looks like the most sharp part is right here at the bottom.
Yeah, so you look throughout the rocks around it, it seems to be soft. And I would expect rocks to have, you know, pinpoint texture. I'm not looking for everything to be overly sharpened. That's not what I'm saying. It's like we missed focus here.
It should have been like in this area here.
Right. On that back wall.
Jim,
That's what
anything else?
it's emanating from.
Jim or Jim?
Compositionally, I find the hard geometric shapes playing off of each other, and then the contrasting with the smooth flow of the water was a fascinating compositional choice. The way this was put together with hard angles, hard lines, triangles, rectangles, blocks, and then the flowing water, you know, over it. You know, they compositionally worked well, but as Robert said, there is definitely a lack of focus on it.
Yeah, this was a very cool photo. I thought it was a very creative for waterfalls, and you know, obviously with the as Jim mentioned, the lines and all that. It's very nice.
It says it's a GODAFOS Iceland with that other shot.
I think this one would be good in black and white also.
Now, looking at this particular shot, here's what I mean by something that goes from a really good shot to an excellent shot. Just imagine had he pulled focus in the right place on this with this
I
shape
think it's
and,
definitely
and
better in black and
design.
white as well. Yeah, the focus is
So-
definitely off, and it's a little white, too white. Yeah.
So
What, you know, something, you know, if Chris listens to this, if he's not here, but watches the recording, something that might be an interesting choice to see would be to take this triangle right here and darken it in even more to play off against this dark triangle, you know, the dark triangle in the right corner. Oh yeah, and you guys can't see my invisible mouse, can you?
Yeah, we can.
Are you
I see
talking
a mouse
about this
moving.
triangle?
The upper left triangle, if that were darkened in to play off of the lower right triangle that's so dark. Yeah.
Whose cursor is moving? There's a red cursor.
I'm not talking about
Who's
the
that?
whole you know corner, just the triangle that the water is flowing out of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just throwing ideas out there, just thinking that might be fascinating as well.
mhm.
Why didn't I darken it?
I really didn't do it. It's for whatever reason it's not.
Yeah, Photoshop would be a better choice for
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah.
All right, next one is the Danger Fall.
Holy crap.
This one is Fong's. This one's Fong's, and the score is 24.7.
Is that a real human?
That's her
Yes, it's a
husband.
real-
Yes,
Yes.
real.
And,
That's
and
her
he's
husband.
gonna
Yeah.
go.
Let's
Oh
give-
my God. Does he have good life insurance?
I really enjoyed this. This made me smile. This was a very fun image to look at. I wish there were more room on the right side, you know, where his feet go into the edge of the frame. But yeah, but other than that, this is great fun.
There might be a bunch of
Somebody-
people in the pool right behind
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, maybe they have his feet tied by a rope. So he doesn't
Thank
fall
you for
over.
asking that.
No.
I'm wondering how he didn't fall over.
People, there's a pool right there that has a dozen people in it sometimes, and it's a regular pool, and people get up there at the edge of the falls like that.
Where is this?
This is in Africa. It's Victoria Falls.
Victoria Falls.
I've been to
Victoria
Victoria
Falls,
Falls.
yeah.
I haven't seen this.
Well, I walked over to this area, and anyway, it's just a place where a lot of people go and they get in the pool, have their pictures made close to the falls.
Wow.
Well,
Cool.
the way I understood it is that she had already processed the life insurance, but he didn't go over.
Thank
that's
you.
the other
That was my question.
observation. Way to go!
I have to
Falls.
say, Fong, I really enjoyed this one. Thank you.
This in the Zambia. So
Yeah.
this only open 2 months because this is winter. Like we go to here August 18. Only open 2 months. This water is slowly something. If another month after September they will close. Too many water is too danger.
Yeah.
So now it's yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about
A
sacrificing.
little more
for the
water, and he would have been
photograph.
over the edge.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just use my iPhone take. I don't want to damage my camera.
Yeah, but you would damage your husband, but not the camera. I understand. We all understand that one.
Hey, you
You
guys.
always get a new husband.
Now you see why I said that. I didn't think that other falls picture was from Victoria Falls because it had mountains in the background, and
Yeah.
as you can see,
Yeah.
there are no mountains here.
Yeah, I think the other ones might be Iceland.
It is. It was in the comments. It got
Yeah.
written in the comments. It's in Iceland. Yes.
Okay. All right, next one is one of many Plitvice Lakes National Park.
Where?
This is in Croatia. Plitvice Lakes National Park. This is mine, and the score is 25.
I really want to go there.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I love that
Very
curving
nice.
curving line of that boardwalk,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
the light, the side light coming through everything is
Yeah.
beautiful in this.
Now,
Yeah, and this
Lynn,
and
go
this
ahead,
photo
Jim.
and this photo right here, I really like the walkway. You know, going towards the falls, kind of tells you a story
Yeah.
right there. And I was a little confused about that green stuff. Is that like a fungus or something? That I didn't know what that was. The water's
Yeah.
coming out of it, but yeah, that made it very cool.
That grows everywhere at this park. It's just all the waterfalls. I guess it's because they're flowing all the time, and that grass just grows. It hangs in some places. It hangs down like 7 or 8 feet.
That's probably moss. That's
Yeah.
probably moss.
Lynn,
Very cool photograph. Very
Thank you.
cool.
can you write down the name of the park?
Yeah, it's Plitvice. It's Plitvice Lakes
Okay.
National Park in Croatia.
Beautiful.
And this was really hard to get a decent picture here, because you see this boardwalk, and Lee and I had to wait I don't know, 30 minutes for 50,000 tourists to go by.
Yeah.
Because they don't just walk, they don't pound. They're like elephants walking on this boardwalk. And so it was hard to get any long exposures at all. I normally would have had a much longer exposure on this, but it was too quick, it moved too much, vibrated too much. So
you were standing on the walkway to shoot it?
Yeah.
You have to. There's nowhere to
because
stand on the
water
ground.
everywhere. I mean, the boardwalk is almost all over water. And over waterfalls.
Beautiful.
In some places, you're actually walking over waterfalls.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Miles and miles of boardwalk.
And I'd like for you to curb your excitement at this point. Yes, you got a 25, but what I want you to know about this image is that this is the top of the line travel for any particular travel magazine and/or cover.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thank you.
And it's a nitpick, but I'm going to mention it. There's a stranded leaf on the top on the left.
Oh, up here.
Yeah,
It would have been very easy to get rid of.
Yeah. Actually, I got rid of them. I missed a few. I had a bunch of things sticking in over here that I had to get rid of. So thank you.
Hey, Jim.
Very nice.
Jim, on a compositional thing, would you consider that I can't pronounce the word, but anyway, it's a tangent where you have a curve, and that waterfall seems to be cutting right at the center of the curve.
No, a tangent is when things touch each other.
If it has to touch, okay.
Yeah.
But it's
like
still
if
made
you
for a nice composition.
Yeah, you can't see me too much in the camera. Never mind.
All right,
Yeah,
next one.
Jim, you're acting like Jack now.
Next one is Kirka Waterfall in Croatia. This one is Lee. This one's Lee's. Scores 25.5.
Wow.
This was the other part we went to.
What's the lens on this one? I'm assuming this is a pretty good zoom to get that shot so well.
Yeah, I think it was a 7200.
I like this particular shot a lot. I thought this was a lot of wow factor. I can't believe these falls look like this. This was impressive.
This is only one part of it. You should see it. It's like huge.
Yeah, this is one of those telephoto crop out of a wider scene that was done very well. The telephoto landscape like we were doing earlier.
Is this the park that has a lot of different waterfalls as you keep walking by?
Yeah, both that one and the one I had both do, Diana. Both parks have lots of waterfalls.
I'm trying to remember. There was one park I could not pronounce, but
Kirka.
Yeah.
Krka.
Yeah. Yes. It's beautiful.
Any comments, Robert?
No, I concur with all that said.
Okay. Next
Yeah, the
one is
telephoto lens perspective works very well, and there you can see
there's
the
the whole falls. This is
the
Carrickton
wider
National Park
perspective. You can
waterfall,
see
yeah.
where that shot is
Yeah.
cropped out of the right side of center there.
This one's also Lee's, and it scores 25.5 on that one as well.
Yeah, I love the panorama on this thing. This is amazing.
I did a video of this, and it's really cool in video.
Lee, I just wish I had a little bit more on the top. That yellow is stopping me just a little bit too soon. The yellow middle.
Yeah.
Which
I
you could
think-
extend.
I think it's
slightly.
really neat that you went to this right about the time we had this assignment.
It was
He
definitely.
went to this because of the assignment.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. We knew what we were doing.
We give our
We keep
give
that
our
list in
all.
mind all the time.
Yeah, we give our all for our photography.
But I tell you, Lynn was telling you the truth in how hard that is for them to have gotten that, because there are so many people there.
Yes.
And most of them are boardwalks. And even when it's not a boardwalk, it's where everybody's taking selfies.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they're still shaking everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to wait. We had to wait for the bus load of people to go by each time. Or in this case, in Kirka, it was a boatload of people. Literally.
Yeah, because that's a cruise stop line.
Yeah, you have to go out there on the
Stop
boat.
wise, Yeah.
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 All right. Next one is Waterfall Towers. This one is Jim McWilliams, and the score is 24.1. Pick up. Come on.
I'd like to see more contrast between the brighter tones and the darker tones. Everything seems to, kind of fall in a flat, in a flat middle range there. It doesn't pop, and it has all the potential to pop.
Contrast, increased contrast.
Or maybe dehaze.
Well, I'd like for you, when you do this sort of thing, to not think globally, but think locally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would normally
Bring
just
up
go
the
in and
overall
darken all
exposure
this.
now, Lynn,
Yeah.
as well.
Pardon?
Bring up the overall exposure now
Yeah.
that you've done that a little bit. Yeah, okay, there you go. Then push back the highlights some. Yeah, there we go. It's getting there. Look at the before and after.
Yeah.
See how flat and see how it pops. That's what I was saying. This one has all the potential to pop, but it's very flat.
All right. Next one is Flowing Steps.
Oh, pretty.
Now, this one makes more sense.
This is also Jim's. It scores 25.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Truck must have cleared.
Where is this one, Jim?
They're both.
Yeah, don't say, Jim, don't say, Jim, don't say,
Okay.
don't say.
Why?
But I know it's somewhere in Zambia.
Zambia.
It's not the North Pole either. Nor is it the South Pole.
Right.
These are both Busch
It-
Gardens.
Where is
But
it?
Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're very
Where
good
in
at
Busch
making
Gardens?
waterfalls.
Where in Busch Gardens?
Next to the
Right
water.
near the gorilla place.
Yeah. And I'll bet my ticket to Busch Gardens costs less than the ticket to Africa.
I mean, think how
Yeah.
many times you could go to Busch Gardens for the price of a ticket to. Wow.
Another really great image with one little nitpick in the upper left corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, give
Agree.
it little
Agree.
inches.
Brian, you're actually getting pretty good.
Yep.
All right. Next one is Mud Falls.
Now, did this
This one
this
is,
exhibits the same thing that we were talking about with one of Brian's issues with the excessive blue in the shadows?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
some blue in the water is okay, but the overall, even the rocks, are look like blueberry.
Yeah, this is Susan Huckabee's, and the score is 24.
White balance on one of the rocks for me, Lynn. I drop her a rock.
It's a little much.
Yeah, you can bring it back a little, bring it back some, but
Yeah.
that's much more
Now it looks like
realistic
it'll fall.
looking. Yeah, and that's the thing. The camera will bring out a lot more blue in the shadows than human vision perceives. And you often have to pay attention and watch for that in shadow areas where there's dark items in shadow areas. The dark items will turn excessively blue.
You talked about that once before, Jim, and I don't know if it was a picture.
Yes, we talked about that with one of Brian's images that was up in the Northeast somewhere, I think, where all the buildings in the shade had turned blue.
Yes. So you had a different correction for that time.
Yeah, and the other one we used a brush to paint a desaturation brush to paint the blue off of just the pieces of the buildings that had turned blue, because only parts of the buildings had turned blue.
With this, Lynn?
What?
Can you do what Jim just said to do?
In this case, it would be a lot of brushing to brush all the rocks.
No, I know. I'm not saying to do the whole thing, but if you could do, I'm pointing to where I want you to do it.
Yeah.
But
working.
No,
turn on the brush. Okay.
Yeah.
And then go down to the saturation slider and push the saturation slider left to about 65. Yeah. Left to about 65 is good. More there.
Because I remember this, because I started watching out for it. One of the
and you could paint, like I say, just paint the rocks, but leave the blue in the water.
Okay, so you would leave the blue in the water.
Yeah, a little bit of blue in the water is nice, because human vision does see blue reflections in water. The sky reflects in the water, and you're used to seeing blue water, but you are not used to seeing blue rocks.
Right.
It's not natural for the rocks to be blue.
And so you brushed it and you decreased the saturation on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I really
and when you want to do that, anywhere between like 55 and 65, minus 55 to minus 65 is a good value on a brush to do that.
Lynn, did you just reset it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right.
I like the framing that's
yes, the framing is lovely.
Is beautiful.
I mean, I personally liked it better with a dropper, because it also affected the leaves and it made the leaves get more yellow.
Yeah.
Now, can you put it back to is that where you had it before?
With a dropper?
Yeah, that's where. No, not the beginning. At the end. At the end where you.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. Let me see if I can do this. Am I doing something here?
Yeah, you're doing something. I'm not sure what.
Okay. I just want a radio gradient in here, and in this radio gradient, let me just give it just this one little piece right here, and all I want to do in this is where's my areas right here, and the only reason I'm doing this particular thing is because if I bring this down, this value down, just bring it down just ever so much, it sort of isolates that water now, in the sense that it becomes more of the framing of all of this, instead of the values being the same around there. That's all I wanted to bring forth in that.
Susan, you see what he's doing?
I do. Thank you.
Okay.
If you're in Alaska, the scenes up there look blue to your eye. I saw a lot of artwork for sale, and a lot of people just left that blue in the photos, and they seem to be more popular than the ones that had been color corrected. So
that's because their brains are frozen up there.
Yeah, right. Well, the thing is, the Southerners were buying that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
I want everything to be warm.
it could be an artistic
And
thing, too,
and
someone
and,
wants to believe
and
it.
everybody goes to the Caribbean and get their hair braided too. That doesn't mean they keep it that way.
All right, guys. Moving on. This one is Falls in the Fall. And this one is Sylvia's. And the score is 23.9.
And I'd like to share my screen when you have a moment in
Okay, go
relation
ahead.
to this one. But you know what? We'll also let me see. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one as well. Let me see the next one when we're done with this. I'll wait.
Okay. Comments?
It's way too yellow for me.
And that exactly relates to what I'm going to show you on my screen when I can show you.
Robert?
Yeah, I'm you can tell they were sisters. They did the opposite.
Huh?
One was cool and the other was warm.
Yeah. These sisters, I tell you what, they're opposite ends.
That's right.
You'll be
Well,
on the next one?
The light, I will say that the light hitting that water, it was very golden there because it wasn't early in the morning. It was a little later in the day, but it may be too much, but that's what I saw. But
You want to do the second one there?
Hey, and look, there's Dry Falls again.
yeah,
And it's drier this time.
yeah, they haven't had much rain. The falls were not really a lot of water.
So we were there we were there when all the leaves had fallen off. So there was no color.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a nice angle on that.
Yeah.
That from that overlook, that's a nice angle, and that's actually the least water I've ever seen in it. So it's interesting to see it with that little water in it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see the top of it where the water was coming from all the way up at the top. It's
The part that bothers me is that tree right at the very top.
That
The
big
red
tree.
tree?
Yeah.
Bingo.
I like that.
I mean, my eye stops there.
It
what
does.
it's worth.
I agree that it competes. Can I share my screen when you're ready?
Yeah, I don't know if that helps, or if we just need to get rid of
You
it.
took my red tree.
I would get rid of it.
Yeah, I know that it's hard to get rid of that redness, you know? Okay, go
Well,
ahead.
I think if you bring it all the way down to below the tree edge, it would be fine.
How come picture went away?
Because anytime Jim takes over, everything goes away. So it's Jim's world now.
Valerie, where are you that you have a sweater on?
Who's
Can
that?
Can you see Lightroom on my screen now?
No.
Oh, wait a minute. How about now?
Yeah, now we see you're sharing.
Sort of.
Now we see your Lightroom.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Do you see the difference here?
No.
The green trees are green. This is something I wanted to let people see in scenes with fall foliage. When the orange gets through everything, you lose definition of things. One thing to be aware of in fall foliage shots is where there is green foliage, it does help a lot visually to keep it green. Let me see if I can take the filter off here and find the, okay, yeah, I think there's the original. Okay, notice how all the vegetation just is washed out in orange in the image. And then look at the difference when you let some of the green actually be green in the image. You see the difference?
I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Same thing with the other one. Just doing the same thing. Letting the green vegetation be green actually makes the fall colors pop more, as opposed to having the entire thing just being in kind of this, orange, this overall orange wash, that seems to permeate through the whole image.
How did you make them greener?
Yeah.
He just cut the grass on the other side.
There's half a dozen different ways to do it, but the new way to do it is with
a new pointer. Woohoo!
with this tool. So yeah, let's say you take this, you can take this tool and say, oh look, these trees that are actually yellowy orange ought to be green.
Oh, boy, that's nice.
See that?
That new pointer is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, be aware of that in fall foliage shots where there is green vegetation. Let the green vegetation pop out in the fall colors. It does make a difference.
So just to be clear, when you select that color, it's going to change the color everywhere in the photo, right?
Everywhere
Yeah,
that's
so
green.
you may need to do some masking, because I'll show you in this particular image, when you do that, it also changes the rocks, and so it had to be masked again just to let the trees be green. I'll show you over here. If you pick and even look, do you see the zoomed in magnifier?
Yeah.
Look at how yellow, things that are supposed to be green are. So you pick it and you say, yeah, we want that to be green. Okay, but the rocks turn green too, so you need to stack 2 layers and mask in just the green trees in this one, and let the rock, because it does look better with the rocks, being the warmer color.
So you'd have to do that in Photoshop.
You stack your images. Yes, you take one that you do this, and even the rocks turn green. And you take the original one, with that has the rocks, and you stack them up in Photoshop and just make a mask. You tell it, you pick 2 layers, and you say edit in, open as layers in Photoshop, and then you just mask what you want between the 2.
I still think this is hyper saturated, and that's saying a lot for me because I like saturated.
Oh, it is very saturated. I agree with you about that as well. And but I just wanted to show you guys that. Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful photo, but it's just too much color for me.
Okay, you can see mine again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is called Falling into the Abyss. This one is Valerie's, and its score is 23.5.
Once again, we have a lack of clarity of focus here.
Yeah, could you give 100% magnification on that, Lynn? That looked, very very soft throughout. Is that possibly a cell phone shot?
Valerie, is that a cell phone?
I don't like cell phones.
Valerie said that I don't like cell phones.
It was my 20D Canon.
Let me see my numbers here. 1/250 of the second f8. I don't have a clear point of focus. That's what I'm missing.
That's unusual you would expect for those settings to see some sharpness in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Did you have it on a tripod, Valerie?
Probably handheld.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
But even at that shutter speed, you'd expect some rocks or trees to be sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are sharp down here.
Let me see that again. Let me see that again. No, they're not.
Yeah, they're not in focus either. Find a spot what's focused, and there doesn't seem to be a place that's focused.
Now here's a possibility. Regardless of those settings, the focus dot in the camera, the spot chosen to focus on, may have been on the water, which was moving, which very well could have confused the camera autofocus system and prevented it from getting a clean lock, because the dot for where the camera was being told to focus was focusing in moving water.
Yeah, so if you're doing waterfall, I always find a rock that's somewhere near it and focus on that, put the focus spot on that. And that way you're usually pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have focused like right here.
Yep.
Well, this particular photo, this is actually kind of cool. I couldn't tell how far this water is falling. Valerie, where was this taken?
In Oregon.
Probably those are pretty tall falls.
It was a very large one. I had pictures from down below and that, but they just, with the trees, they were in the way and stuff. So the one that I was shooting down at it.
Oh, cool.
Valerie, when you have trees in the way, you tell them that you're a photographer, and they will move out of the way for you.
Next time I'll put my chainsaw and I'll just cut it down.
Like Jim cleaning up the site. All right, guys, moving on. This one is the Great Victoria Falls. And this one is Fong's, and the score is 23.2.
Now, Fong, this is where I think the cell did not work for you as well as it could have. You got some things going on, but there's not enough clarity in this, and it seems more painterly than I think I would like.
This use iPhone. I get the last big good picture, but I lose the one SD card, the camera card lost. This is.
I'm sorry, I had to deal with something on my phone. What was the commentary so far in a quick synopsis?
It's a little too painterly, like a cell phone shot. In a sense,
yeah. Hey, Lynn, zoom in the upper left corner.
I mean, the whole thing is very crunchy.
Go to put it at 100%. You're at 200 right now. Go to 100. Yeah, look at those trees up in that upper left corner there. You know, halos around them. Everything's blobby and globby and pixel. Yeah, it looks like a cell phone for sure.
Yeah, this I cut from my video. Several.
That's a video frame.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, because I was gonna say most cell phones today look a lot better than that. That looked like a 15-year-old cell phone shot.
Nothing in here, yeah. No.
Now, is this where you got the idea to put your husband over? I like him, so don't do that to him.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Next one is Marianne Falls. And this one is Richards, and the score is 24.6.
That's a good photo.
Yeah, I particularly like this shot. Kind of sort of reminded me of the one with the chairs on the beach, looking out. This chair or seat, whatever, looking at the waterfall. It told the story. I thought that was a very cool shot.
Yeah, very nice composition. I enjoyed the composition with the bench there facing the waterfall. Very nicely framed and put together. We see this at 100% as well, Lynn, on the bench or on the waterfall, or.
That's 100%.
Okay. That's why it looks like there's a resolution issue. It's because there's a resolution issue.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
I kept saying, boy, this looks so low resolution. Well, yeah, okay, there's a reason for that.
Is that the way it was transmitted? Or is that
because what we just saw, what we're looking at now is 100%. So what we had on the screen a minute ago was
it's 1300 by 800, so it's a little
over and large.
It should be about double that.
Yeah.
So I sent it as it's too small. It was too small.
Yeah,
way too small.
Yeah, should make the long side 3000, Richard.
Okay.
That way we can look at it a little closer.
That's a neighbor's front yard. Actually, she and her husband bought the remnants of a quarry. That's a stone quarry, and it was abandoned for years. And they found the flat where they could build their house, and their front porch faces that waterfall, and they have that there.
Cool.
No,
that is sweet location.
Yeah. Diana, you can hit the mute button.
Sorry.
All right, next one
making fun of you. I'm making fun of you.
Next one is Caught in the Sluice. Oops, wrong size. There it is. This one is Kathy's score is 24.7.
Now that one to me is not a waterfall.
Yeah, the water is falling. I'll give you that much. And it's an interesting take on the subject.
But I mean, right behind it, isn't that wood or something behind it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's a sluice. That would be why.
Robert?
I actually thought this water was coming out of a gutter.
That's a sluice way.
This particular image did not have enough information for me. You brought in the waterfall, I get it. And you trapped the leaf, I get it. But I think this is an opportunity to show more water and let the falls become the water become the stage, and then the leaf becomes trapped in this long flow of water. But right now, the waterfall and the leaf are occupying the same weight for me.
Actually, I kind of like it better.
Hey guys,
black
I'll
and
be
white.
back in a minute. I got a little emergency here.
Okay. I kind of like it in black and white too, because the color to me is a little bit distracting.
So, is this Kathy's photograph?
Yes, Kathy.
Yeah, it's me.
Kathy, talk to me about what I just said. How do you take in what I just said?
It was a long, this is one tier of the sluice. You look at the bottom, and that's the bottom. That's where it hits the next tier. And I don't know.
So why tell me why you didn't show me all the next tier as well?
It was, I don't know. It was, a long, narrow sluice, and that's just the way I took it.
Now your top part is like you're giving me the beginning of a story. Hold on, it's like you're giving me the beginning of a story at the top, where the dead leaves are up there and they're dry, and then the water comes over, and I have this leaf, and it's backed by something behind it. And then it stops.
Okay.
So it's like you're giving me a preview of something, but not the whole image.
Okay.
Now, rather than just I'm going to push you on this one. What am I telling you? What are you receiving?
That I don't have enough information here.
Do you see it?
Well, yeah, I do. I guess I didn't know how to do it more.
Because I think you got something going here. I just want more of it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think if
All
there's
right, now pull it in all the way on the left and yes, and make it a little more. Let's take out the back. And so it's like, okay, it's encased, and let's say if you double that that water there, then it becomes a real story.
Doubled it, how do you mean?
Going lower, showing me lower.
More water, more water.
As far as what's going on down there.
Okay.
Then it becomes a compositional genius on your part, if that was the case.
Oh, okay. I'll go back.
Go back. Get the whole darn thing.
It was funny. It was funny because this was at a KOA, and it's one of the toys. I was there with my camera trying to photograph this, and the woman from the office comes out and she goes, "Oh, look at those leaves up there. I got to take those out." And I said, "Oh, well, that's what I'm photographing."
I love it when they say
get us. All right, next one is called High Falls. This is also Kathy's score is 23.9. Go ahead, Robert. Jim's not here.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at. I do want some contrast against the background. I want the rocks to be darker so that first of all, the greenery in the background to be darker. I want the rocks to be darker so there's some sort of real contrast between the water and the environment.
Yeah, it's like, let me do this. I don't know. It's hard to do it globally and make it look decent.
Oh, yeah. Now, you take it down. You can do it one of two ways. You could take the whole thing down a little bit. I learned this from Chris, the Chris up here that's online. You take everything down, and then you take a brush and you paint in the lights.
Yeah, that helped a little bit. The color was off.
Yeah. And then you bring in the lights. Yeah. So that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And what it does is it provides some separation now.
So we were here and now we're here.
Yeah. Everything was, yes. And so now you have some separation there between it. It looks more like a rich woods now. Your thoughts, Kathy?
Yeah, it was a real cloudy day, and which allowed me to do the
yeah, but cloudy days are perfect for this because you could do a long exposure, which is a 1/6 of a second. You could actually done longer. It jacked up lowered your ISO even lower and increased your you're upstart at 22. But yeah, I mean, cloudy days are the best days, but then you've got to do some color correction for sure.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I played with it, and I just, it's like I'm still learning that.
You'll get there. You're getting there.
Yep.
So my comment on this photo is that there's nothing there that really grabs your attention. It's just,
well, it's a waterfall.
It is a waterfall. Now there are several different crops in here that you can make out of it. And one would be a vertical crop. If you would, Landon, just go in for me just 1 second here. Go in. That's enough on that side. Just come more on this side. I want you to come in a lot so that the rock in the foreground becomes the main issue. Yeah. And see, it becomes now the little waterfalls that make the difference. The rock becomes your lead in.
Yeah.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
While you got your crop tool, I'm going to give you another crop to look at. Pull it all the way out to start with.
All the way out? Okay.
Yeah, just open. Okay. All right. Now, bring that right side in till your rule of thirds line hits the top point of that rock. Come in, stop. Oh, back up, back up, back up. Back up, back up a little bit more. There. Okay. Now, bring that top of your crop way down into the water, past all the stuff at the top, all the way into the water, a little bit more, a little bit, stop right there. Just let's see that as a panorama.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
There's an alternate view for you as well.
About a 20 plus on that rock if you could brush it in.
A what?
Use your brush and take the exposure on that rock up to about, was it 0.2?
Oh, okay.
That's all you need is about 0.2. Yeah. I need a plus.
Oh, plus. Oh, yeah, it'd be too bright though, I think.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Maybe about a 0.1. It just needs to barely be a little brighter. So.
Right, clarity on that.
Yeah, just so it's separate from the water.
Yeah. And so what I was mentioning to Kathy, Jim, I was saying there's several different compositions that you can draw out of this one photograph.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I saw yours, which was nice. I wanted to throw this one out as an alternate because I absolutely agree. There's better compositions within it than what the one overall was on its own.
I mean, that's the cool thing about waterfalls in general. Just like the waterfall that Lee did, he had a close in piece of it, and then the wide view as well. So yeah, when you do a waterfall, it seems weird because you want to go in there with your wide angle, but pull out your zoom lens and go in there and zoom around, because I love to go in and just find little pieces of this waterfall, and sometimes it's even more interesting than the whole waterfall itself, because it can be a little bit too much, like this is. I mean, I like this spot right here.
Yeah, that's what was really nice too.
I know Robert will know this, but back in the day, newspaper editors would tell their photographers when they went out to do what was called a hen and chick, which was get the wide view and then focus on the story within the wide view.
Oh yeah, right. No, don't forget
And
to
that
zoom
was
in.
every
Call that a hen and chick.
Yeah, don't forget to get the zoom in. All right, let's move on to general, guys. It's already almost 9 o'clock. All right, the first one here is It's a Small World, and this is Jan's, and the score is 22.9.
This is a very fascinating abstract.
Yep.
Personally, I'm fond of abstracts. Is this is this pine tree bark with moss?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yep.
It looks impressionistic.
Yeah, very nice eye to see that within the trunk of a tree.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And to get it all in focus, which is really hard too.
Yes.
Actually, I believe this was a focus stack.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Well, yeah, good job using that technique to accomplish that.
Because when you shoot around a tree, the edges are going to be out of focus because obviously it's not on the same plane. Awesome.
It looks like a lady with a dress on, a wide dress. Yeah.
A lady?
Yeah, the head is at the top.
Yeah, I see it.
Yes.
I didn't until Robert made the comment, and now he made the comment. I see it.
There, guys, a little pareidolia.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And mermaids are women.
I didn't see it either.
There's her head. There's her bodice.
Yes.
Oh, she's got a big old leg then with a big yellow foot.
And it's a real flowy dress.
That's a big flowy dress with it.
Leslie, I don't think you and I drank the same stuff.
Okay, let's move on, guys. Next one is Reflections from the Pier.
I'm going to tell you, Jim, I totally disagree with this shot.
I think it goes like that.
Jan, there you go. I now agree with this shot.
Okay.
Now,
I
go ahead, and then I definitely have a comment about this.
You were right, Robert. This is the original.
Why did you send it to me on its side?
I don't know. I guess I was trying to be creative.
Well, good. Turn it back on its side, Lynn, because I want to show you something. Okay, yeah. The stuff on the right-hand side is just visually a dead giveaway when you see this, that it's turned on its side. But Lynn, just crop in past those. Yeah. Now I have a beautiful abstract that I love with nothing in my brain fighting what I'm seeing, saying, oh, this is turned sideways. I don't get the part of my brain saying this is wrong, and I just can really enjoy these complementary colors and these patterns that are going on in this.
This looks like a Pollock painting.
Yeah.
Jackson?
That makes sense to me, Jim. I got to keep that in mind. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, this is gorgeous without those poles.
Jan, I like the way you say that. I have to keep this in mind. Apparently, your mind is blown just to start with, and that's a good thing.
Well, the funny thing is, Robert, I can't tell you how many times I'm out in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, what would Robert say with this or something like that?
Hey, we all do that, Jan.
We all do that, Jan.
Okay.
It's Robert and Jim are in our brains continuously.
Yeah.
I have a few other photographers who are in there as well.
And you're in my brain, Lynn, every time.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
And just as long as it's slow.
Okay. So is
this photo right now, in the orientation that it is, pulling it over from the right, the way Jim suggested, is this a stronger image than the original?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me answer that on my end, and the consensus is yes. But if you're gonna introduce the bars in there, the poles in there, then it's a strong image the other way.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's both. But if you're gonna orient it this way, then it becomes, as the consensus said, it becomes a true abstract.
Okay.
Without any reference to orientation.
Okay, I preferred it this way just because of the abstract, but I just didn't think about pulling in the right side. So
yeah, I mean that is so dark and so just weird.
It's completely out of character with the rest of the abstract.
This way is just so much better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Next one is the autograph. This one is Alan's score is 22.9.
Alan, I'm jumping on your case. Where are you? I need to see your face when I do this.
I'm here, Robert.
I know you're here, but I want to be able to see your face when I tell you that you have something that's really, really good going on, but you give me a person that's totally uninterested on the other side. So get rid of him.
Okay, there's the two people.
You see him? Yeah, the guy who's got his head turned away from you.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. When the moment his head turns away from you, we spend our time wondering what's going on there.
Okay, hey, Lynn,
if I could just go
bring it up to between the above the guy's knees.
Oh, up here?
Yeah, keep going there. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go down just a little bit from that. That was a little high, but yeah, down just a little bit, and then bring the
top down.
Bring the top down. Yeah.
And go slightly out all the way to that guy's hair, just to the back of his hair. Now, go back up to the right. Give yourself a little bit of space to the back of the guy's. Go to the right. Go to the right.
There you go.
Right. Come back in. Come back in and get rid of the hair.
There.
Yes. Okay. Now we have that lead in of all of these, the characters, the signing, the interest of the guy's eyes gazing down, and it's just nicely composed here. On the right hand side, you still have more of the characters, the posters. It's all working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan.
Yes, sir.
I just saved you. I have just saved you.
You have.
I think it would have been if he had even just looked up at this the guy for because a lot of times they look up as they ask you your name.
Yes.
If he had caught that, it would have been even more powerful.
Okay.
I agree with you that it would have been powerful, but this autographing that eyes not engaging allows me to look around the photograph and enjoy all of the different things that are pinpointing why this guy is here.
Okay.
Did you take any off the left?
Not really.
I like the lead in of the comic books across the table leading in from the edge of the frame. I like it like it is.
Yeah.
And so that the mark that Spider-Man is not butted up against the corner edge.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Well, I was thinking to that, get rid of the one poster that's on the left-hand side. I was just wondering. Yeah, yeah.
I mean that's fine. It gets out the chair, but I don't want to butt it up against that poster.
Good.
So yes, you now have something of great interest.
Okay, thank you. Can I make an anecdotal comment about this shot?
Yeah.
This is your shot. You can do anything you want.
Okay. Well, the young man in the photo is my grandson who turned 16, and a couple of years ago he developed an interest in photography. And I gave him the camera bag that he's wearing. And that is the same camera bag that I won as a door prize at the Tampa Bay Camera Club meeting in Robert's studio in 2017. And it was presented to me by Jim, who was the president at the time. So the club's influence continues on. So
Oh, there you
Goes on
go.
forever. Awesome.
thank you.
All right. Next one is Bonneville Salt Flats. And it doesn't look very deserty today. And this one is also Ellen's. The score is 23.6.
Every time I've been there, there's some big puddles that make reflections,
Yeah.
which is nice. There's
Go
a
ahead, Jim.
in the right side, 1/3 of the way in, there's kind of a stick or something in the water that kind of breaks up the reflection. You could take that out. But this, I really like the placement of the people in this. It works well in this panorama.
Even this little guy over here on the
Even that person on the edge. If you take that person away, I'm visually taking that person away, and the image loses something.
Yeah.
Normally you'd say, oh, that person's too close to the edge, this or that, but I'm visually looking at it without that person and not liking it as much.
That's exactly how I felt too, Jim. It was like the period at the end of the sentence, at the end of the panorama. Yeah.
That's kind of a that's kind of a good way of putting it for this image. Yep. So, sometimes things that seem like they break all the rules work, and that's a good thing when that happens.
It was interesting, we had hoped to go out there and drive our cars on the flats, but the night before it rained. And when we got there, there was this gigantic puddle, and it reflected the sky.
I can tell you from experience, rental car companies don't like it when you drive their rental cars out there. I got a stern lecture for doing that.
Okay.
They looked underneath and saw all the salt crusted under it because I went out the day after it rained, and took the rent a car up to 115 miles an hour on the salt.
Wow.
Of course.
Where is this?
Good to know.
Bonneville.
Thank you, everybody.
Bonneville, where?
Bonneville Salt Flats.
Utah.
In Utah.
Thank you.
This is where they.
Is that
That's
a-
where they
hey.
test all the the supersonic cars.
That's where they set the land speed records in the automobiles.
Just outside Salt Lake City.
Is it? Because I'm going to Salt Lake City in March. Would I be able to go there, or is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half east of Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you put the name in the text in the message box, Alan, please?
Sure, I'll be happy to, Diana.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one is heading to port. This one is my image.
Heading to court?
To port.
Port.
Oh, okay. Port. Okay. Gotcha.
Score is 23.5.
Were they actually under motor power? They look
Yes.
anchored.
Yeah, no, they were. They were. This big storm was coming. They were booking it across the water.
Uh-huh. Was there something in the water in the foreground that got made to disappear?
Right here.
Right there.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember anything being there.
That looks kind of blotchy.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting composition.
Yeah, this was from the balcony from the place we were staying there, and this big storm was coming up. And I have a couple other, and I know Lee's got some of these too. The first two boats had the sails, the front sails up, and then all of a sudden more kept coming. So it must have been a yacht club or something that were out sailing, and they decided they needed to get to port quickly because this storm turned out to be a pretty bad storm. So. Little bitty lighthouse.
This has nothing to do with you and your vision, but I want to see this. Take your crop tool, and I want it to come from the bottom, and I'll show you why in just a second. Come up, about right there. All right, now come back down just slightly. I want that that darkness right about there. All right, go ahead and enter that. And tap the letter F for me. I want that darkness to just roll just a little bit.
Okay.
And then into that light. You see the dark?
I played with that. I wasn't sure where to. I almost felt like this was a little too close to the bottom, but I see what you're doing.
Yes, and I'm taking that dark, bringing it into the light, and then on the other side of the boat, it gets dark again, and then we get light again, and then we get dark again.
I
And what's-
think there's not enough on the bottom.
I like
And-
this. I like this better myself. I'm in agreement with Robert on this crop.
It's there's a lot of tension, which is not something we usually talk about much, but I like the tension.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I like this crop now without that extra at the bottom. The extra at the bottom, seemed to anchor it and balance it. And now that it's kind of unbalanced, it makes the clouds more dramatic. It makes it feel, kind of that off balance feel adds to the drama, of this.
And the boats are bigger
it looks a little
too.
more. It looks a little more calm with the extra water in the bottom. I think I really agree with what Robert did on this for heightening the tension in the scene.
And the boats are more prominent too.
When you say heighten the tension, what are you saying?
Because it's not balanced.
Yeah. Yep. It takes the balance away from it by having that that extra water at the bottom kind of balance the clouds at the top. And actually, by unbalancing this one a little bit, it heightens the visual tension within the image.
Okay, I didn't know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This is something that's done in in suspenseful movies and things, and in Hollywood. What directors will do a lot, they will deliberately break visual rules that you're used to seeing things happen. You may not know what's going on, but they'll deliberately break compositional rules because it adds to the viewer's tension when they're watching something dramatic in a movie. And this kind of follows along with that.
I see.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next one is Blue Ridge Morning. This one is Brian's score is 23.8.
Brian, I like how the foreground colors caught in those trees on that hillside mimic the what's going on in the sky in the top, and sort of set up some framing for all those layers of hills in between. I enjoy what you did with this one here.
Thanks.
All right. Brian, if you look up in the upper right hand area quadrant and you see the where the white marks where the clouds are separating.
Yes.
That little line there, yes, that little line right there. That little line mimics the trees on the bottom.
Okay.
So I when I went up there and I got to stop, instead of going all the way out of the image, I went, damn, Brian is starting to see some things.
I've said the same thing too, that the last, especially the last several exhibitions, let's say this, but we're really, I want to compliment you, Brian. We're seeing you grow. Your work is definitely, leaps and bounds ahead of where you used to be.
Thank you.
Anything
But
more?
let's go back to that. Let's go back to that tree that in the middle. Wait a minute, hold on.
What?
No, it's on my screen. I'm sorry. There was a dust spot, but it's on my screen.
He's trying to find something.
I'm trying to find something to kill him with. It's too good for Brian.
All right, moving on. Contemplation. This is also Brian's. Score is 24.3.
This is not Brian's image. This is Brian's image stolen from some famous person that's doing really, really cool things. Brian, it's okay for you to smile. That was a compliment.
Got it.
Hey, Brian, what lens did you shoot this with?
Shit, I can look it up.
Okay, I was just 10 millimeter.
10 millimeter.
Yeah. I'll say this too. That lens is very sharp. I looked at the original on this, and you can see spider webs in the branches It's so sharp. Yeah, it's beautiful.
The story behind this was her girlfriend was there, and she was modeling for her girlfriend, and her girlfriend was taking pictures off to the right of that tree. And I usurped her model and took a bunch of shots myself. And there's another one that I may show later in the year, but this was my favorite of all the ones that I usurped.
Yeah, very well done. Beautiful framing, 360 degrees around this image around all four sides. Great framing.
Rule of thirds is there
subject.
too.
Beautiful light and
If you wanted
colors.
to go out for coffee,
Yeah, Brian.
Brian, you
You
blew
could've
it.
Brian, you could have used my name.
Do you guys remember when Photoshop first opened up? It was like Photoshop 3 or something, when they first had the capability to use like I want to say it was like patch tool. It wasn't content aware fill, or maybe it was, but they used an image like this with a woman like looking away over a landscape that was very clean. And and then at the same time, there was a commercial that was on every channel for antidepressants. And now when I see like one of these images of like woman in beautiful weather looking away, I'm like, it's the Adobe antidepressant commercial. Every single time. It looks like she's having a lovely time. Maybe she takes Alexa. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna look for that video now.
I love the sharpness of the tree leaves. I mean, it's really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, leaves always look better in backlighting.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next one. Tucked Away. This one is Susan's score of 23.5.
Okay. Susan. For me, Lynn, I want you to enlarge this image even more. So Command plus plus.
Oops.
And I want you to go down to the fence in the lower. Yes, okay, push it up, push it up.
Lower?
Okay, push it up some more. Yes. Now go to, I want to get to come down, come down, come down. All right, look at that little scene right there. Chris.
Yeah.
You see where these two pieces come together? Where the fence doesn't end?
That's a tangent.
I see what you're doing. That's a tangent. You're exactly right. It's an out of focus tangent. Very out of focus.
But that's what it is.
Yeah, but they normally
Wait, go back.
associate.
Where's the tangent, please?
Right here. These two things are hitting each other.
When they touch without when they touch without a visible intersection.
Got it.
Yeah, that's not an intersection, that's a tangent. And tangents, for the most part, the human brain finds tangents to be visually disturbing in photography. We avoid it. That's one of the things in architectural photography and the real estate photography stuff I do. That's one of the things that's kind of like a big deal to watch out for when you're shooting interiors is to avoid creating tangents with the angles that you shoot at.
But that was a cute little shot though.
Thank you. That's what I thought they were going to do with it, Leslie. I
Blown
thought
up like
exactly
that.
the same thing. A picture within a picture.
Had the tangent not been there, that was a nice photograph right there.
What was the shutter speed on this? I think is this like a 300 millimeter focal length, and what's the shutter speed?
1/60th.
Yeah, that's why it's so out of focus.
Way
too low.
Way too low a shutter speed.
Susan?
There's a lot of camera motion in that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to shoot that slow, then you got to have it on a tripod. But she got that.
Did Susan leave?
This is Susan's.
Did I say, did Susan leave?
No, I'm here.
There she is.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Absolutely. Let's look at just a simple rule. Focal length equals shutter speed.
Plus.
Correct.
To be handheld. If you're hand holding, you should have been shooting at 350th of a second.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't go down that low. You could maybe get to 250th of a second, but any lower than that, when handheld, you're definitely going to have motion.
Okay. Thank you.
So
That now Susan just dismissed you, Lynn, and I'll tell you how. She said, "Thank you."
Just believe me. I shoot handheld all the time. I am shooting most of the time at 1/2000th of a second, no matter what I'm doing, and I'll just let the ISO go where it needs to go and then deal with it later. Just so I don't get everything out of focus.
That's what I did in Egypt, Lynn. Remember you and I had talked about it, and I just bumped the heck out of the ISO and figured that topaz denoise would take care of whatever.
Yeah. Boy, you sound terrible, Diana. You're very staticky.
Yeah, you've got a pretty bad microphone going on there.
It's a Mac.
Any other comments on this image? I think it's very pretty, and it's I
It
like
is.
the fact that there's this little green swath going through here.
Yeah, the composition is beautiful.
Right.
It's just soft with the out of focus.
This little
situation.
roundy thing I want to get out. It sort of matches the roundy thing I had in mind.
Now this would be a candidate since it's such a nice scene, but it's out of focus. This would be a nice candidate to actually just apply a painterly filter to,
right?
And then the fact that it's out of focus won't matter.
Yeah.
And you just make it look like a painting.
Now, I still would take out. I didn't say it earlier. Underneath that, with the Stokes art. Now, I just put a separator in between those two. That little cylinder thing that's underneath, it's a little too dominant for me.
What, this?
Underneath, yes, that little cylinder deal.
That's an air conditioner.
Yeah, it's a
No, not that part. Just
tank.
Just the propane tank.
Yeah, get rid of the propane tank. Little.
Yeah, the other thing is fine.
Yeah, I was removing. This is super easy. I was removing cars from things in my pictures without any trouble at all with generative fill. All right, next one is Wat Temple. Okay, what are we doing here?
That's in Cambodia or Thailand.
All right, we're hoping I hit the right key. This is Sherry's. The score is 23.2, and I assume this is infrared, right, Sherry?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I like the infrared look. I like the detail in it. I'm wondering, could this have been done in HDR to help preserve some detail in the highlights? The highlights are totally killed in this image.
Yeah.
Especially look up at go to the top of the up there. Yeah, look up there. Yeah, the highlights got killed in this, and there's so much gorgeous detail that I'd love to see reproduced there.
What does that mean that they got killed, Jim?
All the details are gone. The highlights are totally clipped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it should have been a darker or a...
Yeah.
I think this would have been a great candidate for doing infrared HDR and really getting a range through there.
Yeah, it's possible. I've done it a few times, Sherry.
Yeah. My biggest problem with this was no matter what I do, I couldn't get it quite straight. I don't know if you see, it's like, it looks like it's tilted, but any way I try to straighten it on any line, it made the other
at 24 millimeters, you're going to get, you can see the building's pretty good. It's the layups that are out, and it's because they're so close to the edge that it's just, you have to go in Photoshop and kind of go with a transform. Yeah, the poles are both moving in.
Yeah, they are. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, the building's not bad. It's the
building's not bad.
Yeah, the poles are what's make it look funny, and it's because you just need to yank them out a little bit in Photoshop.
Okay.
Yeah, Photoshop has a tool where you can selectively take areas and straighten them.
Yeah.
Without it being global. Oh, and it's killing me now that I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I'm actually going to go in my Photoshop and look for it, because I've used it many times in situations like this where you can get part of an image, like the main part of an image like this, all straight and parallel and the way it's supposed to be, but something else in the image is still cockeyed, and you just need to fix one thing as opposed to the whole image. And the name of the tool in Photoshop is escaping me right now.
Well, if you find it, can you just email it to me?
I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay, well, he's looking this up. We'll go to the next one because it's getting late here, guys. The next one is Beard. And this was Richards. And the score is 23.1.
Richard, I'm having a problem with you.
Yes.
You know, the left-hand side, that stuff in the background?
Yeah.
Yes. Why?
I darkened that considerably. That was a bright yellow bag.
Oh, geez.
And it's still a yellow bag.
Yeah.
There's I'm not even looking at the image, but I remember that one. There's something bright at the top left, like a line across the top left that's bright that you could easily take out, that takes your eye up to that corner.
Okay.
Yeah, cool portrait. Yeah, this is just very.
Oh yeah, it's very striking. I really love the lighting on the guy and the expression and everything. It's very engaging. I really enjoyed looking at this.
I had to do a lot of work to tone down the background. That was a bright red truck. The wheel was super bright. The sun was coming, as you can see where the sun is coming from. So that truck was really lit up. I do see that upper left thing. I could have removed that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the story, and you darkened that up really well. Whoops, wrong one. But this definitely is just sort of, you could have just, I don't know, come on, computer. You could have just, I don't know. What would you suggest, Robert or Jim? Just cloning it out?
I'll tell you, if you can go into Photoshop real quickly, I show you exactly what to do with this.
Just make it even darker?
No, not at all. Jim Hagan, what happened to you?
Oh, I'm still here. I'm
checked out.
Yeah, well, no.
And while you're doing that, I found the name of the tool in Photoshop that lets you take just a section and straighten it out independent from the rest of the image. It's content aware scale.
Yeah, that's right.
So you could actually draw a rectangle around those lampposts and use content aware scale and skew them.
In this particular photo, sure, I saw the same yellow bag there, and it was it was a distraction, but I really liked the guy. He really looked, he overall was very impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Striking shot of a very engaging character.
That's Santa Claus.
Yeah, I like that. I like that part darker.
Yeah,
unfortunately, that yellow bag caught your eye.
Yeah, I just did a quickie, and you'd have to fix all this, but just using the brush and taking down the exposure really totally down to nothing, pretty much down to black. And then, that helped a lot, just getting rid of it there. So,
you just did not want to do it my way, did you?
You wanted to do it in Photoshop?
You just did not want to do it my way.
Well, it's late. We need to go to bed.
Just did not.
All right, last one is jumping into the frame. And this is Valerie's, and the score is 23.4.
Valerie, you had me at the jump. Is this a composite?
No, I was on a boat, and my daughter jumped off the boat, and I snapped the picture.
Well, clearing the mountain or that terrain in the background, not let it cross, made this so surreal. It's not funny.
Yeah,
and no tangent.
No tangent at all.
Tangent.
Yes. Her feet are not touching that line. Like I say, if her legs were crossing the line of that hill, that would be an intersection. If her feet were touching the line of that hill, that would be a tangent. But the separation is great. The fun of this image, this just made me smile so much when this image came up on my screen. This is so fun.
And I'm sitting there. There's so much tension in this photograph. I'm just wondering, how did she do this? Is she about to fall in the water? What is about to happen here?
Yeah, she jumped off the top of a boat. We were on a houseboat on our lake, and she jumped off. And I was just taking pictures, random pictures of all my family jumping off or going down a slide because they had the slide on it as well. And so I just happened to catch this one. So
Valerie, I got to teach you how to tell stories.
Yeah.
There was no boat involved. We were leaving her, and she decided that she wanted to come in. There's a bridge behind us, and she leapt from the bridge over the water to try to catch us. And she was saying, "Hey, Mom, hey, friends, hey, cousin, I won the lottery."
Hey, Valerie, I'm curious. What was the water temperature?
This was in let's see. I think
I'm
this
sorry,
was
what?
so the water temperature wasn't bad. I didn't go in. Are you kidding me? But that kids are resilient. They'll go in.
That's great.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, guys, that's
Well,
it for
there
tonight.
you go.
That was a lot of fun. I have to say, as being a judge for the first time in a while, I really enjoyed the effort that people put into the waterfalls. There were some outstanding shots, and that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I want to share something with you guys from Croatia.
Go ahead.
They love their olive oil. There's a thing over there of having olive oil on ice cream.
Whoa.
They can keep that.
Oh, I've had olive oil ice cream before in Napa. It was really good. I didn't like pour olive oil on the ice cream, but part of the cream is replaced with olive oil. It was tasty.
Oh no, the impression I got was that you drizzle the olive oil on the ice cream. And I'll be honest, I did give it a try, and it's not as horrible as it sounds, but it's not good.
So will this be vanilla or Rocky Road?
Vanilla. I only buy vanilla ice cream.
Well, there's the problem.
I'm with you, Leslie. That's what I always buy.
Yeah. If I go out with Lee and Lynn for ice cream, I might splurge, but at my house, I only buy vanilla.
I have olive oil that I bought. That was the place that we went to in Croatia. They actually have a distributor in the United States, and that stuff is really good, but I have not tried it on ice cream yet. I
only tried it on a little bit of ice cream. You know I love ice cream. I didn't want to ruin a bunch. But it truly isn't as horrible as it sounded to me when it was mentioned. In case any of you want to try it.
Everybody, I want everybody to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe.
Yeah.
And we want to see you guys in 2 weeks from tonight for the election and for the education night about printing. So if you have any questions about printing, bring them with you. Be ready to ask Robert. And if I don't know, Robert, you want any other questions about anything else?
Oh, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
So
it's a bonus. Yeah, it's a bonus night.
Jim will jump in
take advantage of it. Yeah.
I said Jim will jump in and help out. He always does.
Yeah. All right, guys.
So he's the real printer.
You guys have a good Thanksgiving. Thanks for coming tonight.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Be safe and have fun.
Good to see everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.